I am very excited to have my next guest join us. His debut album, HaHaHa, comes out in September. It is Will Paquin. Welcome. Thanks for the
How's it going? Yeah, thanks. It's going good. I was just saying I'm enjoying the LA weather right now.
Yeah, it's always cool in LA.
I'm about to move out in a few days though, so
Oh, no way. Where are you
I'm
moving to?
enjoying it in Nashville.
Yeah, I love Nashville. I've been there a handful of times and I always seem to have a good time. I can appreciate it from an artist point of view as well. Great place for work, collaboration, and a balanced lifestyle, not as much of a rat race as LA. What do you think the differences are between living in LA and what you perceive from Nashville from spending some time there?
I feel like they're kind of similar, honestly. They I feel like they're both kind of introverted in their own way. Um I feel like they're both kind of similar cities because you got to drive everywhere. There's no public transport really, or good public transport. So I feel like just the fact that you have to drive anywhere makes things kind of insular. But I'm kind of an introverted guy anyway, so I think that's kind of a good thing for me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed LA. I honestly like didn't spend much time there. Wow, I've only lived there for a year and a half. So I was gone for a lot of that. So then when I was back, like between either touring or recording, I'd kind of just hang around and just visit my friends and go to shows.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't have the like quintessential LA experience where you're like doing sessions every day and meeting people every day. I kind of didn't do that. And I feel like moving to LA, it's a good thing to do that type of thing.
Right.
But I kind of resisted it for a while. But I am planning on moving back. Nashville is a supposedly temporary move, so we'll see. We'll see how
Oh,
it goes.
oh. So basically, you moved to LA in the hopes of being able to continue the music career, the trajectory that you're on, and maybe develop your sound a little more, maybe
hmm
collaborate with some notable producers and things like
hmm
that.
Yeah, I met some awesome people. I made some good friends. I But yeah, if you're gonna be in LA, like you should really be going out and doing the LA thing, in my opinion, to make it like worth it, because it's a lot living here. But yeah, I think I'm an East Coaster at heart.
I think your music definitely reflects that too, because I think with the variety of sounds that you make and the lyrical content as well, it definitely reflects the personality you just described in terms of being an introvert, but you're very expressive when it comes to so it all kind of fits with the music and the presentation.
Okay, that's good to know. Like it's hard to determine like it's hard to like hear my own music and think of it without a bias. Because when I listen to my own music, it's kind of I just remember what I remember is like writing it and recording it. Um, but I feel like other people don't. Well, obviously, other people don't listen to it that way, and I don't listen to other people's music that way. So it's hard to listen to your own stuff without thinking of all the work that went into recording it and making it. Um, because some of these songs are on this album are super old. Like one of the songs I worked so hard I started writing in like when I was 13 or something. I was in seventh or eighth grade, like middle school.
Wow.
Um, and I just put it away. So like when I hear that song, I go back to like middle school, which is almost like triggering. Um, but yeah.
Let's talk about this because, first of all, the album is fantastic. As soon as I got the link in my email box, I was like, whoa, what is this? I got to talk to this guy. I know more about him because of the variety of sounds I just touched on in terms of your general presentation. Definitely classic rock influences. There's folk rock influences, and I don't know that New England vibe as well. In
Nice, nice.
ways, like if we look at some of these songs, I can think of like orangutan. Uh, we really done it this time. Like those two kind of really fit together, and then you kind of pivot, and then gum and everything sounds different in terms of the sonics.
Mhm.
So where were you in terms of, you just said 13 years old, seventh grade or what have you, writing these songs? Which one of those songs is kind of the older influences? And yeah, describe the
Uh,
trajectory of how all these songs came to be in this album.
yeah, the a lot of the songs are yeah, it's kind of like a hodgepodge of songs that I never got around to writing or finishing, but I always loved them. And I was almost kind of waiting for the right moment to finish them. That's how I rate most of my songs is I'll come up with the concept of the song and I'll just kind of leave it for sometimes years or sometimes days um, until I feel like the song kind of just comes together. Um, so going into recording this was like last year. Going into recording the album, I had a bunch of songs that I hadn't were just kind of on the back burner that I was kind of just waiting for them to be finished magically. And I booked the dates to record them and I was like, okay, I better finish these now. So I feel like the pressure kind of just made it happen quicker. Like Ha 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 was I wrote that at least the guitar part and the melodies um like 2 years ago maybe. And then the lyrics kind of came all at once right before we recorded it. Um Same with Orangutan, same with Gum, same with um I Need to Know, and same with Roll the Dice. A lot of those all of those songs I wrote, I like finished all those songs in like a few days, like 3 or 4 days right before we got to recording. So
Now, was this because of the fact that you were experiencing writer's block and you need just that time to break through, or was it kind of like, oh, I got to make an album? What do I have in the pile here? Oh, this one was great. Look at this scribble in
yeah,
during science class.
a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't really writer's block. I was just like I have a ton of songs that I'm just waiting to write. It's kind of hard to I can't really explain it. I don't really know how to like I'm just waiting for it to come to me kind of, but I know once I actually like yeah, put some pressure on myself, they'll come out really easily. I just find that I write better songs that way. And it's kind of like not advised. I feel like a lot of people don't advise writing that way, but that's just how I've kind of always done it. Um, but yeah, I Work So Hard is the oldest on the album. That has been like 10 years in the making, or maybe
Wow.
even more. So I wrote like in middle school, I like had this dream of making an album that kind of sounds like the album that I ended up making 10 years later, but I never got around to doing it. Um, because I don't know. I just was in middle school and going through puberty, and just maybe didn't have the guts. But yeah, I started writing it and I got the whole structure and the guitar part and even the like hook I work so hard like that was I wrote that part um way back then and then we had like an extra day in the studio where we recorded everything Um, we recorded everything that we needed to record, and we had a full day. So I was like, and Will, my best friend who I've known since kindergarten, who is produced the album, he knew that knew that song and was like, why don't you just finish that song today and we'll record it today? And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. Let's do that. And my band, learned it in that day and then recorded it that day. And then that was and that's one of my favorite songs on the album, actually. It's funny how like not having time to perfect things really makes like something special. That's been a theme I've noticed recording this. The more I think about things, the uh, more wishy-washy things get.
It's really interesting to hear because on one hand, we live in a world where artists feel so much pressure to maintain relevancy that they're turning out albums every other year, or if not, every year in their careers, at least lately, right? Especially the TikTok world where it's like, here's a demo that I'm working on, and they release 15 seconds, and in a way that's kind of like you kind of pressuring themselves into finishing it and releasing it.
Mm.
And then on the flip side, there's like you, where it's like, no, I need to let this marinate, and in a way, let the stars be aligned and have something fall from the sky and make it sound more along of the lines of the initial intention.
Mm-hmm.
So when you create a debut album, it's always been said that you have your whole life to make. It literally is, a lot of your life in this debut album.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you relate to 15-year-old or 14-year-old Will, and what changed in the songwriting process are we hearing now that makes it 25, 26-year-old Will?
Mm. Well, I actually do relate. Like, I feel like this album was kind of like an ode to my 13-year-old self a little bit. I was obsessed back then. Like, I really fell in love with, I always like loved music. I was always really obsessed with the Beatles when I was like, from 10 to 12 and stuff. But then when I turned like 13 and pretty much went through puberty, I really fell in love with like garage rock, and I kind of fell into this whole world of like Ty Segall and the OCs, bands like that, that I was just head over heels for. And I didn't really have anybody who liked that type of music back. Like when I was in middle school, everyone was on like a different wave. So I felt like it was really mine back then. And it was like my little secret, especially being on the East Coast, because I feel like all the bands I was listening to were like West Coast bands, and I would see them all playing at like the Smell and being super jealous and just having no one to talk about this music with. And I think that's a lot why I made this album, and it's a lot why I didn't make anything back then, was because I just didn't have anyone to bounce ideas off of. So now I feel like I'm kind of honoring my 13-year-old self in a way, and just kind of the songs that I had in my head back then, I'm trying to bring to life now, which is kind of it kind of is a weird feeling. And I actually don't really like when I listen to I Work So Hard, it's kind of confusing as to what I think about. I don't even really know what it brings me back to, because it's kind of a mix. It's like a 10-year mix of like emotions that it brings.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been like super cathartic in its own way to bring old songs and new songs together and have them actually work well together is really a crazy thing to, um, yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad you put this together, and whoever pressured you to release it got you to release it and finalize this. Because again,
Yeah.
there's so many cool songs, great songs on here. In terms of the lyrics, I'm sure there's a lot of emotional content that is exaggerated as a 13-year-old, 13 or 15. I don't know how many songs were written in the span of how many years, but that's when you're really learning about life, the world, how you react to the world. Those initial reactions, to be able to capture those is gold in terms
Mhm.
of being a songwriter. So that's why I ask about how much you relate to it. How much was retained with those feelings and those lyrics and that type of vibe?
Um, yeah, how much was retained? A lot of the actual lyrics are a lot of them are not retained because they're just goofy. Like I work so hard, stayed. Um, Our world is falling apart. I wrote that when I was probably 15. Um, and all I had was that chorus, Our world is falling apart. And it's those two lyrics, like Our world is falling apart and I work so hard. They are like kind of something a 13-year-old would write. They're kind of like a little bit like on the nose, and um they're just kind of funny to me now because like what was I so emo about
Right, right.
uh, as a 13-year-old? Because I think when I was younger, I was actually a lot sadder and a lot more frustrated and angry than I am now. And now it's kind of like I'm taking those lyrics and playing around with them. Like I'm kind of using them to say that like things aren't that deep. The whole album kind of came together after I went through a breakup last year, and I kind of pulled all these songs together, and they all kind of meant something different after that happened. Um, and I kind of wanted to make a like really fast, like happy album on the outside, but maybe on the inside there's a little bit more to it. Um, and another thing that changed the trajectory of the album was I was actually on tour when a lot of this was getting written. So I was actually playing with a band, like, and that kind of changes your perspective on music a little bit, because you're kind of coming face to face with people's reactions to your songs. And it's funny because when I go on tour, I always have these songs that I think people are gonna love. And then they'll have like no reaction to the songs that I think they'll react to. And then the ones that I don't think they'll react to, they love the most. And that I was kind of finding that a lot of the sound that I'd been going for the last 3 or so years was, I don't know, I just kind of saw it from a different perspective by going on tour. I'm moving away from what I've been doing previously. Um, and I'm kind of going on a heavier, faster, or like more fun route, which is more fun. They're super fun to play. And that's kind of the whole point of it as well. I just kind of want to have fun playing and not have to be, crouched looking at my guitar doing some super intricate thing, because that type of stuff I've found it hasn't even really connected with me, let alone other people in like a live setting.
Really?
It does, like, people, I just, when I'm playing that stuff, it's not fun for me it's not like fun.
And I think we get that too, because Chandelier obviously did its thing and
Hmm.
put you in front of people's minds and ears. And I can understand what you're saying. If you were to perform that live, it's very intricate and it's as if you're under a microscope. You know, wow,
Mm-hmm.
it's finger picking, and wow, these sounds are so awesome. I better not screw up.
Mm-hmm.
They're just there to witness it and not really be a part of it. They're just there to kind of observe as opposed to be singing along with you.
Mm-hmm. What having a good show is all about. It's kind of less about, say, it's a lot about you, but it's a lot about how you present yourself and how you um, command a stage or command an audience. There's a lot to that too, which I'd kind of been neglecting or discrediting or something
Not focusing on
beforehand. Yeah.
your first priority. And
Yeah.
that's why I bring it up because, again, with the songs and the sonics of it, you just said it allows you to connect with the audience. I feel like this is part of being a mature adult, a mature performer, a mature artist, right? It's like, okay, I pretty much have nailed down the performance aspect of it in terms of the technical aspects. Now let's have some give and take versus just a recital.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my things were starting to feel like kind of recital like. And I like shows like that too, where, it's kind of a quiet performance or like a respectful performance. And I still appreciate that. I just wanted to try something different because I was honestly like getting bored.
This see, now I get it. 13-year-old Will was just screaming to get out. He was like, "You bottled me in here, and
Yeah.
it's been long enough. Now let's go make orangutan happen."
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on this album. I'm glad that you were able to overcome your insecurities and got some encouragement for this. It's just fantastic. I love it, and look forward to seeing you on tour.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, bottom of the hill in San Francisco. um, so yeah, I'm excited for that. I've played there before. I'm excited to get back there.
Nice. Let's link up. I'll make sure to reach out and
Yeah, definitely.
say hi in person.
Yeah, certainly.